Hey YouTubies, welcome to the tentatively titled Hobby Talk Episode 1, How I Got Into Miniatures and Painting. And for your viewing pleasure, you will also be watching me paint this cool miniature from Warhammer that I found in a bargain bin at the local hobby shop. I couldn't resist. Just look at this snail with this pestilent Nurgle creature demon on top. Very cool. A lot of cool details on this model. I believe I got an even better deal than 50% off on it, but that was a while ago. I've been sitting on this model for a while. Anyways, my love for miniature painting and wargaming goes back 20 years, and what better way to understand my experience than to start right at the beginning. I was a strange and awkward homeschooled 12-year-old, and I had a small group of friends who were all equally homeschooled and awkward. Whispers of some new toy or game was going around known as Warhammer. And Warhammer is easily the most well-known and popular tabletop miniature game, both back then and now. You build and paint 28mm plastic and metal soldiers from either a sci-fi or a fantasy setting. Duke it out with your friends on the kitchen table, full of makeshift obstacles. My friends informed me that they had begun building their own armies with their allowance money, and I saw some of their Space Marine models and looked over a White Dwarf magazine. My eyes widened with a deep desire to have my own. Fresh and new 3rd edition Horticulous from the Tyrannid faction plagued my childhood dreams. My biggest problem was the fact that I did not have an allowance. My parents didn't have the means to pay me and my 3 other siblings an allowance just for existing, so that meant we had to wait for a birthday to make $20 or carefully barter and sell our belongings at garage sales and eBay. I'd be lying if I said my parents never gave us an allowance at all, since technically they did back around 1993 or 94. However, the way this allowance worked was me and my sister would earn 1 penny each day. That's it. Very simple. I remember being very excited for the first month or two. I thought I would be able to buy that Power Ranger Goldar action figure toy in no time. I asked at the store how much this toy was, and after learning I believe it was around like $20 at that time, the little cogs in my head started to work. $3.65 a year salary was not going to cut it for anything above gumballs, so me and my sister refused to do chores and attempted to unionize. To make a long story short, we remained unemployed and unpaid until adulthood. Anyways, let's jump back to my 12-year-old self and Warhammer 40k 3rd edition. I managed to sell enough at a garage sale to purchase a battle box of Tyrannids. Yup, stupid child me always seemed to gravitate towards swarm armies. This means the faction I chose to play needed an above average model count to compete, thus requiring me to actually invest more money into it than others were. The models are already ridiculously expensive, especially for a child. This was accelerated by the fact that I would split my focus between multiple swarm armies over the years, like an idiot. It was constant. Tyrannids, orcs and goblins, Imperial Guard, Space Orcs. If you know anything about Warhammer, you know those are not exactly good choices. If I had simply stuck with Space Marines, my childhood and young adult years would have been better. The very first model that I snipped off the sprue and built was a Hormagaunt, and I promptly snipped the stand which is used to attach it to the base, like a total dingus. My second model, I learned to leave the stand on, but then I managed to slash my finger open with an X-Acto knife and glued a scything talon to my hand. Painting was another area I struggled with. It wasn't until recently I learned that thinning paints with water was better than using bone-dry paint, which I applied thickly. I really wish I still had my old models, so I could show off some of my horrid work. I believe I have some pictures, and I will try to scrounge the drives for them. Eventually, I learned that painting primed models was better, but then I would spray them too thickly, resulting in fuzzy models. I didn't let this stop me, and I soon learned how to dry brush models, and I've used this extensively over the years. In fact, it wasn't until around 2015, or maybe 2016, that I started using strange new techniques like highlighting and using more than 3 colors. I want to give a big shout out to craft paints that got me through 20 years of abuse. Anita's, Americana, Craft Smart, Folk Art, and don't forget Apple Barrel. Hell, I still use some of these today, especially Anita's metallic titanium gold, just for old time's sake. Sadly, nowadays, most of my Warhammer models are gone from the years of constant purging to buy new things my family ingrained into me. I have a couple Warriors of Chaos and some Wood Elf Dryads, along with the cool Slug Demon I'm painting in this video. That's not to say I don't have miniatures. I have plenty of them. I'll be able to paint and play with them for years to come. I've got tons of War Machine and Horde models, since people are always looking to get rid of these things for cheap. Before you Games Workshop purists begin to foam at the mouth, you should hear me out. Warma Hordes is a super fun system to play, and the models have really grown on me after a while. Give them a chance. I actually hate steampunk and the whole aesthetic with that, but I'll make an exception for War Machine. It's pretty cool. Me and my girlfriend have been having a lot of fun with those, but we also have a big passion for D&D and making models and terrain for our role-playing sessions. My girlfriend is definitely the superior painter. Check out some of these models she's painted with craft paints even. Anyways, I guess that covers the short version of how I got into the hobby. I hope to continue making videos like this, talk about all the different things I have passion for. If this video gets some good traction, maybe I'll even bust out the big bucks and get a couple Warhammer models or something. I feel a bit ashamed that I've never actually painted a Space Marine before. Almost seems like a rite of passage. And that 9th edition box just came out with those cool Necrons too. I also hope to bring an unboxing video for the Battletech Clan Kickstarter if that ever ships. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about maybe the paints I was using or techniques, or if you just want to critique any mistakes I was making. Yeah, I know I probably should have been using a wet palette. Just weird sometimes. I'm always game to talk about other tabletop games, and Warhammer, War Machines, Battletech, or board games like Kingdom Death, anything like that. Just let me know what you want to hear. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Thank you.